Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Come experience WOW, Women of Word with a few man-made words. We use poetry, dance, music, and humor to entertain and enlighten you on some tough subjects. Find me on Facebook, Thasia Ann Lunger, if you have any questions. There is no cost to attend. So tonight we're going to be doing a feature with Chuck Joy, and he is introducing to the world his poetry book, White and Blue. So I'm going to invite Chuck right up to the mic. Thank you.
Thank you, Thasia. It's a mighty kind introduction. I appreciate it. I am going to thank you for helping introduce White and Blue. The process has already begun. More on that later. But first I want to start with a new poem. This is a very new poem, and all you really need to know, as they say before I launch into this poem, is it's about a neighborhood in New York City in the borough of the Bronx. It's located there. The neighborhood is called Belmont. And one of the characteristics of this neighborhood is it's not very easy to find any hotel there. So I made one up. And the result is this poem called Belmont Holiday Inn. New year, new luck, right? Who knows? Here we are waking up. Our balcony overlooking Arthur Avenue. This smartly renovated building, an Art Deco version of a 50s Holiday Inn from a postcard, allowing anyone to overnight in the neighborhood. Like Ocean Drive, but instead of the ocean, it's Bronx Little Italy. And we have already agreed. What happened since like maybe noon yesterday? First eye contact, you know the story, across the pizza line at Bella Luna. Next, from desks at the branch library, an entire afternoon spent separately together, leaving at the same time. I said that. Leaving at the same time, indicating her and me. She had to agree. She did think it late for coffee. A cocktail at the bar in Otto Uno Quattro sounded perfetto. And then, of course, the menu. We're talking, laughing, looking out the window, watching everybody on both sidewalks, seeing people we know in bar staff and patrons. Today, we're supposed to take the bus to City Island. What was happening since even before we realized our particular histories so differently similar, our love of Belmont, our birth orders, mine oldest, hers singular. Our rooms weren't just, what? Next door at the Holiday Inn. Both of us went to Catholic schools all the way through college. A shared diversity to our careers, continuity in relationships, long periods of satisfied time, married. We had outlived our parents. All kids were all right. The two of us spoke the same language, lines of poetry at first, then words floating in speech balloons. Duet from the jump, acting knocked out. Happy seemed to fit. Soon we were dancing up and down those very sidewalks outside the restaurant. Soundtrack, New York Tendaberry. I'm on my way. Here's the bakery, then to the hotel, the elevator. These rooms could convert to adjoining, which we did, confirming the special perfection of our meeting, meaning we were meant to be together until further notice. Happy New Year! Thank you. New work, and I was trying to figure out where to read that, and I thought, poets know it. This is perfect. And now for the main event. Let me please introduce you, if you haven't met already, as Thasia indicated, white and blue, here it is, from Main Street Rag Publications. If you're interested, take a look. You can ask me. Werner Books is a good place. And the Main Street Rags bookstore, also good. So this book is organized, 32 poems organized in 3 sections. The sections are related to voice, second one, range of poetry, third, experience by a different name. So I'm going to read a poem from each of the sections and then close with another new poem, seasonal. So first, out of the first section, which is about voices, I'm going to read a poem that has an epigraph. There's a lot of epigraphs in this book. This one says, "After Diane Borsenik." The poem is called College Reunion. After Diane Borsenik. Wandering around in a moody way, wandering the grounds, alma mater, a pastoral campus in the middle of a city. Cool music loud from a tent, the tent at the edge of the great lawn rimmed by tall leafy trees, taller brown towers behind the trees. The graduate finds a sunny bench, a particular emotion, gratitude, respect to the ancestors, his 2 parents, their memories always a blessing. He strove for excellence, mostly with books. What else was there to do? Always, after adequate preparation, and often all night, the writing just flowed. He had since tracked that voice to its source. A breeze came from the direction of the sea. He pulled out his phone, perhaps a post to Facebook. A post, curious medium. You can write in lines or in one long line. Let Facebook break your lines. And if you include a photo, I call that ekphrastic. Thank you. After Diane Borsenik. And part of the beauty of Poets Know It is there's a better chance Diane might hear that reading than many others. So there's that. All good. Me too. Let's everybody send a copy of the video to Diane Borsenik. It'll make her feel better. Okay, second section, the range of poetry. And this is particularly selected to read here at Poets Know It at Cam Erie. The name of the poem, this has an epigraph too, for Robert Cullen. And we go back, some of us in this room, pretty far, but none of you go back with me as far as Robert Cullen. So this is for him. He'll probably see it too, but you probably won't send him one. I'll do that. So Organdy for Robert Cullen. What a dream I had, pressed in poetry. The Poetry Channel on my TV, cable 971, up the dial near the music channels. The Poetry Channel, all poetry, all the time. Poetry news, open mics, live, on tape, on location, Cleveland, Buffalo, everywhere. Featured poets, visits to them, their voices in natural habitats, taking walks, improvising conversation, personal interviews, performances, book reviews, panel discussions, original productions, poetry movies. Not only cable, all content streamed to your device, anytime, any screen, the Poetry Channel, some screens mounted above crowded bars. An audio equivalent you play in your car. Organdy. Maybe we should call that poem the Poetry Channel. I don't know. So, but what a dream, huh? How about that? So finally, this is the last section. I think it's called Barking Dogs, Bird Calls, and something else, but it's meant to be about experience. And here's one, another epigraph. Not every poem has one, but this one has one. This one says, with dawn. So here we have our brave adventure with dawn. We're a modern couple. What did we know of love? Love chose us, and we said yes. One night we're dancing, live rock music at an Irish pub. Next thing, we're pulling a curtain closed, an upper berth on a transcontinental train. Married in our neighborhood church. We packed up and changed our address, new location, transplanting ourselves together. Immigrants such as us, not uncommon. Enjoyed 4 years in West Virginia, our first house on stilts. The ravine would echo with screams when Penn State came to town. As it turns out, other than that, our location, Erie, Pennsylvania, small city on the shore of a big lake, performing as we can our various careers. New Orleans is a special place for us, also Manhattan. Mostly we're home, watching TV and raising children. Thank you. Our brave adventure. Now, that was so fun. I'd like to just run from the stage yelling, remember, see me, or go to Werner's or Main Street Rags bookstore on the computer. I'll be at Werner Books January 17th. It's a Saturday from 2 to 5. Bring poems. You can read too. There'll be a kind of a ad lib open mic, and I'll read sometimes. You can look at books, and then I'll read a set closer to 4:30. But instead of racing happily from the stage right out to the car and on to McDonald's because I am hungry, I'm going to close with this poem, seasonal poem. I just read this in Meadville. I just kicked off the white and blue party at Coswego Square in Meadville Saturday night. And if you haven't been there, please find a reason to go. They have poetry there every Saturday, first Saturday. Dan Hunter is the host and producer. Check it out. This poem, seasonal, White New Year's. Not uncommon, not up here, east of the lakes, all of them, finally Erie. Vast, chilling reservoir, birthing thick, sudden snows, sometimes for days. Time, the illusion, encrusted with social constructions, certain features, stubbornly natural. Day and night, something about the earth. 7-day weeks, an exception, deeply historical. Every month, another poem about the moon. And years, subliminal annual voyages around our crazy sun, every year distinctly personal within a context of cultural and environmental themes. Each individual's experience of years limited strictly. Up here, east of the lakes, a new year like last week's can begin with that dangerous beauty. Snow, nothing but white. Thank you. White New Year's. Thank you, Phasia.
I'm thinking if that person way in the back has a moment and can come to the mic, that I would call him up next. Is that possible? Yeah? You? Yeah? Jordan? Come on up. Well, I know you were kind of in a hurry, so I figured if I brought you right up. Well, it is important. Come on up.
Thank you, Thasia. Happy to be here. I shared this poem a few places in December around town, but I don't think I brought it here. And after I made a snowman on Saturday, I went home, I turned on the news, and I was like, I'm definitely bringing this poem to Poets Know It. It goes like this. When you read the labels, do you know what they mean? Kids with no cradles, slaves to our machines. I can read the labels. I know what they say, but I still eat bananas for pennies every day. I kick a can down the street to a country fair and pay $1.39 for fresh OJ. And now I lie awake at the end of every single day just thinking on the repression that it takes to make sure the prices stay that way. People gotta feel lucky not to get beat, that they've got some rice and beans to eat because they've got somewhere safe to sleep, because that is how you keep the labor cheap. I have read the labels. I know what they say. My coffee comes from Nicaragua and my bananas from Guatemala, but what makes all the human lives there worth less than $1? I sat and I've read the works of scholars, and I came to the conclusion that there are two types of criminals: the gangbanger conquistadors, and the worst of all, the ones that wear the white collars. See, almost every Latin American national border was written down according to the Habsburg plan for a new world order. And y'all can mock the idea as conspiracy mumbo jumbo, but y'all know the real OG, Christoph Colombo, the man with 3 ships, the Nina, the Santa Maria, and the Pinta, who decided that Guatemalans, well, they live between 2 rivers, the Montagua and the Usumacinta, and Nicaraguans, they live between 2 more, the San Juan and the Cocos. So follow the pattern all across Latin America as it goes, but Guatemalan, Nicaraguan, or Ecuadorian, they're all just labels for people that we're comfortable ignoring, because we don't see the murder and the mayhem and the men that act like beasts just underneath the stickers that say country of origin. US dollars and UK pounds paid to make sure all of the lines drawn by the Spanish stayed. We wrapped the spine of the Americas with trains and kept the people there bound in commodity chains. Now export taxes fund the extortionist gangs, and people like me enjoy the fruits of their murderous labors because advertising washes off the bloodstains. I heard Biggie talk about going after the loot, and I thought, silly rapper. Real G's don't stand in the streets and shoot. They traffic in tropical fruit and wear the finest in tailored suits. They're investors, New York and London investors who pay for rural paramilitaries to have Winchesters. They pay for their salaries. They pay for their camo. They pay for their boots. The better to rip the indigenous communities out by the roots. So I'm asking, if you eat a piece of fruit, do you think of all of the youth who have sweat screamed and suffered for generations in the name of building up Latin America's nations? I can read the labels. I know what they say, but I still eat bananas for pennies every day. And I feel like I can oppose a wall, but I am at best the lesser evil, because we are still following a social order that is literally medieval. When I eat well and let the bullshit stand at those borders, make for different people. Thank you. Thank you, Thasia.
As always, thank you so much. I'm going to do a couple of newer ones. They have been out before, so you may have heard them if you were at somewhere else I was. I pray to the birds. I pray to the cardinals, the most reverent of the birds. Their presence indicates lost loved ones with no words. They come in at times of grief. They are a witness and bring relief. I pray to the cardinals. They show me grace, and they are able to erase the tracks of my tears. And because we've had a couple really bad storms in the last few weeks, and across the street from us is this giant oak tree. And as it's grown and as they've improved the road on 35th Street, they have actually cut the roots that were at the street. So when the wind comes and that tree is there, I know there are no roots if it starts to come toward my house. Trees, like birds in flight, fight off wind. Is it goodness blowing in, or is it death deciding to go? Fall to winter wanders, and winter slips to spring. But this thing, this wild, wicked wind, slicing, slapping, clapping, topping timber to the ground, the sound of air slamming like ram heads together, the wind-swept weather was wildly worrying. Okay, I'm looking out, and since we haven't had her presence in a while, I'd like to ask Kathy Mitchell to the microphone. You! Welcome back.
Thank you. It's a little scary. I haven't been to a microphone in over a year, so. But anyway, this first poem's called Virtual Children. It's very rare to drive down the street and see children playing outside. Now they reside inside, behind electronic prisons. Very few riding their bike to friends, jumping rope, or playing a pickup game, because that's lame and scores no real points. Children with cell phones and tablets at the age of 3, some with more tech knowledge than me. Gee, I hate to admit it, but it's true. Chutes and ladders and Uno are a thing of the past. They're just not fast enough anymore. They're a bore compared to high graphics and the internet highway. You see, kids these days need a way to play fast and furious. Kids these days need a way to play fast and furious, always quick and in their hands. They need a plan. Their plan is to play and don't get in their way. Then parents wonder why, and they question the sky when all hell breaks loose, when their electronics are taken away. They say, find something else to do. But the youth say, with who can I play with when all their friends' devices are taken away? Emotions run high, and some even try to deny their parents one more breath because they feel their life has been taken away because they've mistaken virtual for reality. Responsibility must be taken by both child and adult. We must halt and take a good look at what we've created. Parents, we must not fear being hated. Our children need us to be a good example and set good boundaries. Let us show our children what moderation looks like. Get them. I'm going to start all over. Okay. Okay. Deep breath. Right. I can do this. You got it. I can do this. Okay. It's very rare to drive down the street and see children playing outside. Now they reside inside, behind electronic prisons. Very few riding their bike to a friend's, jumping rope, or playing a pickup game because that's lame and scores no real points. Children with cell phones and tablets at the age of 3, some with more tech knowledge than me. Gee, I hate to admit it, but it's true. Chutes and ladders and Uno are in the past. They're just not fast enough to keep up anymore. They're a bore compared to high graphics and the internet highway. You see, kids these days need a way to play Fast and Furious, always quick and in their hands. Their plan is to play all day and don't get in their way. Their parents wonder why and question the sky. All hell breaks loose when they take electronics away. They say, find something else to do. But youth say, with who can I play with? All my friends have their devices. Emotions run high, and some even try to deny their parents another breath because they have their lives, because they feel their lives were taken. Their life was come help me.
They feel their life was taken. They've mistaken virtual for reality. Responsibility must be taken by both child and adult. We must all halt and take a good look at what we've created. Parents, we must not fear being hated. Our children need us to be a good example and set good boundaries. Let's show our children what moderation looks like. Get them a bike, some board games, and balls. Let's put our phones down and spend time with our children. They are our future, after all.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful poem.
Thank you. Sorry. Some of you guys know that I have battled a brain injury, and I'm coming back from that. So this is a little scary for me, but I'm doing my best. So thank you for your patience. This is called Unpacking. Unpacking. So much stuff. Why am I holding on to it? Do I really need it? What causes me to want it? The emotional energy engaged in every open box. A crazy roller coaster ride that I continue to buy a ticket for. Masses of guilt-ridden possessions, often robbing me of energy to relish the ones I do enjoy. I'm giving myself permission to let go of what doesn't serve me. If it doesn't bring me joy, give me purpose, or serve a purpose, I can release it. Like the sun breaking through the clouds after a storm, my apartment is unpacked. There are certainly less things in it, although learning to unpack my mind is what's giving me the space I need to survive. Woo! In this moment, I am awakening, breathing, believing I can become anything. Thank you.
I actually went through a lot of what Kathy's gone through, and I'm here today. So I have some hints for her, and I'll help her, and we will never stop fighting to come all the way back. This is called, and I wrote this by going to Clayton's blues workshop that he did at the library. And this is called, I Got the Need Some Sun Blues. The snow is back and the sky is black by 5 p.m., and I'm one of them. I got the I need some sun and vitamin D now blues. It's back to boots and fuzzy socks in use, sit by the fire hour after hour. I got the I need some sun and vitamin D now blues. Looking for spring is really my thing. Bad weather reports make me out of sorts. I really got the I need some sun and vitamin D now blues. All right, looking around the crowd. Jane, would you like to come up? Yes, Jane.
Happy New Year again. This I wrote shortly after this occurred, and yesterday was the 5th anniversary of it. Capitalized. It came like a wave, first the noise, then the horror, followed by shock. Again and again and again it came. The roar of organized chaos, chanting, yelling, screaming, unsightly scenes difficult to view, like a horrific car accident. We kept watching. So unbelievable, like a nightmare, but this was no dream. This wasn't happening on the other side of the world. It was right here. This was real, very real, and it was bone-chilling scary. Thank you. Main Street. A little more cheerful. Follow the map to where the good old days can still be found. Park at the curb, follow your nose. The aroma of freshly baked bread will lead you to the bakery. Continue on down the sidewalk past the bank to the diner for a cup of joe, a slice of pie, and a piece of the latest gossip. Meander over to the park where the bench under the big oak is calling out to you. Come, sit a spell and relax. No need to hurry. No cares to worry, just the rhythm of life found on Main Street, USA. Thank you. I'll end with this one. It's called Small Towns, kind of along the same theme. BJ sashayed down the street, the eyes of the town upon her. Every day the voices spoke, yet no matter what she heard, she didn't listen. The voices continued while BJ entered Millie's diner. Not wanting to miss a thing, she accepted the window table's invitation. BJ sat and enjoyed her coffee and pie while watching and hearing the sounds of a small town that doesn't talk because it whispers. Thank you.
I'm a retired social worker who never stops being social or working. This is about a lot of families that I know out there that are not completely whole. Snapshots. The only way I can look back and allow focus on truths from my childhood, facts, and face them, the facets of moments, failure of a father, photos of my mother, broken and begging herself to be whole. My childhood compacted into adult household chores, holding the magnifying glass to witness my wounds. I must remove the splinters and pull the puckered flesh free of pain and allow the healing because everyone did their best. Let's see. M. Scott, all the way back there. I should keep you guys on the edge of your seat.
We're always on the edge of our seats. So I brought a couple covers here. OPs is my preferred term. First one I'm going to read is from Here Bullet by Brian Turner. And I was listening to an NPR show where they did an interview with him. He was a soldier during the first, or was it the second, war over in the Middle East. And this is called Here Bullet. If a body is what you want, then here is bone and gristle and flesh. Here is the clavicle snapped wish and aorta's open valves, the leap thought makes at synaptic gap. Here is the adrenaline rush you crave, that inexorable flight, that insane puncture into heat and blood. And I dare you to finish what you've started, because here, bullet, here is where I complete the word you bring hissing through the air. Here is where I moan the barrel's cold esophagus, triggering my tongue's explosives for the rifling I have inside me. Each twist of the round spun deeper, because here, bullet, here is where the world ends every time. The other one I want to cover, and I did this in Meadville the other day when I was at Chuck's inaugural reading for White and Blue. So I'm going to read Ginsberg, and this is called A Supermarket in California. What thoughts I have of you tonight, Walt Whitman, for I walked down the side streets under the trees with a headache, self-conscious, looking at the full moon. In my hungry fatigue and shopping for images, I went into the neon fruit supermarket, dreaming of your enumerations. What peaches and what penumbras, whole families shopping at night, aisles full of husbands, wives in the avocados, babies in the tomatoes. And you, Garcia Lorca, what were you doing down by the watermelons? I saw you, Walt Whitman, childless, lonely old grubber, poking among the meats in the refrigerator and eyeing the grocery boys. I heard you asking questions of each. Who killed the pork chops? What price bananas? Are you my angel? I wandered in and out of the brilliant stacks of cans following you, and followed in my imagination by the store detective. We strode down the open corridors together in our solitary fancy-tasting artichokes, possessing every frozen delicacy and never passing the cashier. Where are we going, Walt Whitman? The doors close in an hour. Which way does your beard point tonight? I touch your book and dream of our odyssey in the supermarket and feel absurd. Will we walk all night through solitary streets? The trees and add shade to shade, lights out in the houses. We'll both be lonely. Will we stroll dreaming of the lost America of love past blue automobiles in driveways, home to our silent cottage? Ah, dear Father, graybeard, lonely old courage teacher, what America do you have when Sharon quit poling his ferry and you got out on a smoking bank and stood watching the boat disappear on the black waters of Lethe? Whoa. And he falls over on stage. My wife put me in the gym today, and this is what happens when I work out. Okay, so now I have a new one. And is anybody in here familiar with the Erie Blades? Okay, So back in the day, it was a hockey team here. This poem is called Better Than Unemployment Compensation. It's a miracle of sorts to find yourself here among the fans of the Erie Blades as they close out their playoff debut. You hadn't seen them play all year, but here you are, center ice against the glass, when lo and behold, the empty seat beside you is filled by the owner of the hockey club, a man you remember well for having fired you from a job years ago, the day after your son was born, the man who fought against your unemployment compensation. You nudge your friend Jerry on the other side, who also owned unemployment to this man, and wonder if this gasbag already recognized you as he climbed in without comment or eye contact. Here was a man who enjoyed berating others, the reason why you started a union in his shop. He sat beside you pretending the people parked beside him and his team were strangers. You and Jerry exchange loud, snide remarks, curse his name often, try to provoke him. He doesn't bite, decides to ignore you. But fate has a way of intervening. The Blades score, and everyone jumps to their feet, cheering and clapping, and amid this chaos, you drop your beer on the lap of your nearest neighbor. A one-timer, the shot of a lifetime, an equalizer in the karmic scoreboard. Thank you.
I was at a concert once, and the woman next to me was very, very, very inebriated, and she kept going back and forth with her beer, and all night long she kept her beer on the side of my coat. I should have read this last month. It just escaped me that it would have fit better. I was chosen. As a scrawny, timid little girl, I was unusual due to my father abandoning my brother, mother, and I. Single moms were not the norm. We attended church, and most families offered us love and support. It was Christmas time, and I was carefully chosen to be Mary. I could remember lines. My voice was loud. I was so excited to tell my mom I had been chosen. She invited some of her friends to come see me. There was another girl with wealthy parents who cried as the not chosen. Her voice was soft, and she couldn't remember the lines. The night of the play, I skipped through the snow. I was chosen. That night, not the abandoned girl, but later gathered behind the thick burgundy drapes of the church. The play director pulled me aside. She mumbled about looking out for others and doing what was right. The little girl was sad, her parents substantial donors. She took the robes from me and shoved me aside with a sheep's costume. Accustomed to disappointment, I was the best sheep ever. Fully brokenhearted, I went out to my mother afterwards, hoping for some comfort. My mother scolded me for lying about being Mary and embarrassing her. My heart will never forget. I was chosen. Mary Ellen, you are now chosen.
Thank you, Thasia. So I have two covers tonight. I don't have any of my own poems. What happens to me when we get into a new year is I revisit a lot of poems that have helped me transition from the old year to the new year. And so I've picked two of them tonight. One of them is about the old year, and the other one is about the new year and new beginnings and moving forward. So this is called Burning the Old Year by Naomi Shihab Nye, a very famous poet. Burning the old year. Letters swallow themselves in seconds. Notes, friends tied to the doorknob, transparent scarlet paper sizzle like moth wings, marry the air. So much of any year is flammable. Lists of vegetables, partial poems, orange swirling flame of days, so little is a stone. Where there was something and suddenly isn't, and absence shouts, celebrates, leaves a space. I begin again with the smallest numbers. Quick dance, shuffle of losses and leaves, only the things I didn't do. Crackle after the blazing dies. And this one is from a book that a friend gave me a number of years ago. It's 10 Poems to Change Your Life. Roger Housden has selected these 10 poems, and they're really extraordinary, all of them. But the one that is the most meaningful is the very first one, and it's very familiar to many of us, especially women. It's called The Journey by Mary Oliver. One day you finally knew what you had to do and began, though the voices around you kept shouting their bad advice, though the whole house began to tremble and you felt the old tug at your ankles. Mend my life, each voice cried, but you didn't stop. You knew what you had to do, though the wind pried with its stiff fingers at the very foundations, though their melancholy was terrible. It was already late enough and a wild night, and the road full of fallen branches and stones. But little by little, as you left their voices behind, the stars began to burn through the sheets of clouds, and there was a new voice, which you slowly recognized as your own, that kept you company as you strode deeper and deeper into the world, determined to do the only thing you could do, determined to save the only life that you could save. Thank you. So, Happy New Year.
Here's a very short one. I'm reading tonight from my book, Still Standing. With you in my life, I became strong. With you in my life, I've come along so far. You're the star on my tree, and you show me how much you love me every day in every way. With you in my life, the sky is the limit, and with you in my life, I am the joyful noise, full of poise and creative endeavors. With you in my life, I will love forever. Bear. Next up to the mic is Gary.
It's a confusing and very sad time in the world. I've got a few thoughts here from greed. And violence. A page from the diary of a Gaza kid, 2025. You wouldn't think so, but war's pretty boring. For 3 hours this morning, I listened to my mother crying. My dad and sister are dead. They went inside our house to get some water. The bomb didn't hit our house, but the walls shook and the roof fell down on them. I don't think my mother has stopped crying since. Sometimes I wish I could still cry, but I must be all dried up. So there's this big rock stuck into my chest. I keep thinking that if I could just play some soccer, I'd feel better. But I don't have any friends left to play with. At least I don't know where they are. And Hertog, the only kid around here from my old neighborhood, left his leg back home. It was crushed. So they gave him a choice: cut it off or die. He still wanted to live, but no more soccer for him. So there's nothing to do. All the hiding places stink. The last time I tried to go down into one, something nasty pushed up inside me and made my eyes water. And those places are full of people that are so hungry they can't shit anymore, and so tired and weak they can barely talk. Every day people die in there. It smells so bad down there, I'd rather take my chance with the bombs. I stopped feeling hungry yesterday. All I want to do is sleep. And then I get tired of sleeping. So I roam around the broken streets looking for food. What else can I do? Sometimes I wish a bomb would land right on top of me. That's how boring war is. I wrote a parable for the American electorate between the two Trump administrations, and the Erie Times didn't think they could print it. My grandmother fell and was laid up with a broken leg. She hired the neighbor kid, who just got his driver's license, to run errands for her. Shopped for groceries, made bank deposits, went to the post office, like that, using her car. Grandma was grateful for all he did for her. The American people hired Donald Trump to make America great again, and he worked hard to deliver on his promises. Appointed many judges, passed a major tax bill, made immigration reform a high priority. Like that. Those who voted for him were grateful for all they had done, for all he had done for them. So when her leg was healed and she could drive again, Grandma found that the wheels of her car were out of alignment. The front left headlight was cracked, a deep scratch marred the entire left side, and the muffler was hanging off. She realized that her loss was far greater than the service that the neighbor had provided. When he was finished riding roughshod over the Constitution during his time in office, Donald Trump returned to the American people a democracy in shambles for future generations to repair. And elections. You know, We donate to the cause, we knock on doors, we hand out flyers. We pay for ads, we march and cheer, we fact check the liars. It's work and fun, and then we lose and forfeit all we've done. And in the end, we must have faith. We've only just begun.
All right, have I missed anyone? Is there anyone out there who has the need to read? I don't see any hands popping up, so I think I will read one more and then we will end the evening. I was the frail little scrawny girl that they always picked last and always went after first. And then in 6th grade, Pat Wagner, the kid who was like 6 foot and the hero, was up. Ball in hand, he looked right at me and smiled. I knew this was it. I could see the blood in his eyes. The ball hit me in the stomach so hard that it took me off my feet and I hit the floor, wham, on my butt. I couldn't breathe and I gasped air in. And through the fog, I could hear cheering, and I felt shame. But when I looked up, it was my team cheering, and I looked down and realized the ball was still wrapped in my arms, and I could taste red rubber. And Pat Wagner, mouth agape, was out. So next month, we come back on the 4th. Wednesday is the 4th of February. And as I suggested earlier, please put February 24th on your calendar, 6 p.m. at Schuster Theater in Gannon University. And if there's anything you need to contact me about, you can find me on Facebook at Thasia Ann Lunger. And other than that, this is Poets Know It, and we are out.